Welcome, fellow hammers from across the globe, to the 23rd Annual KUMB Awards. Going all the way back to 1997, when Harry Redknapp still held the managerial reins at Upton Park, readers of Knees Up Mother Brown have been voting on an annual basis for their favourites and not so favourite players that featured in the preceding campaign. There is, of course, much more to tonight's show than just crowning the 2019-20 KUMB Player of the Year. There are, of course, an additional 11 categories to name your winners in, those being Young Player of the Year, Best Signing, Most Improved Player, Goal of the Season, Most Memorable Match, Most Missed, Worst Player of the Year, Worst Signing, Greatest Disappointment, and Hackett of the Year, our category named after Keith Hackett. We also have a brand new category this year, Your Most Memorable Moment, and we'll be revealing the winner of that very, very soon. In all, we received just over 16,000 votes for tonight's awards via kumb.com and our social media platforms, a record number of entries for the awards. For that, we'd like to thank all of you who took the time to cast your votes and for keeping these alternative supporter awards very much alive and kicking. So without further ado, let's get straight into the first of tonight's awards, which is for the most missed category.
Okay, so in third place with 11% of the vote was Grady Diagana. In second place with 24% of the vote was Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
And in first place with a massive 58% of the vote was a player who was moodier than a Bristolian listening to DL's accent. And that was Marko Arnautovic.
First category of the evening out of the way, most missed. We're moving on to the second of the evening, which is the best signing of the season.
Yep, so in third place in this particular category was Pablo Fornals. The runner-up, Jared Bowen.
Ooh.
And a pretty dominant runaway winner, Thomas Souček, who is the first person to sign mid-season and win the award since Rufus Brevett in 2003.
We are going to move on to category number 3 now, which I'm going to call the Pink Palomo in to issue the results for, and that is the worst signing category.
Okay, well, in third place, club record signing Sebastian Haller with 2% of the votes. But, you know, who'd be a chairman? Who'd weigh out 40 odd million and then see him come in as one of the worst signings, for the club? In second place, the absolute legend, never to be forgotten, but he has gone already, Albion Ajeti, and he's picked up 4% of the votes, which is kind of appropriate, really. It's like a nothing vote, isn't it?
Yeah.
But winner by a country mile, by an absolute landslide, they'd be pleased of in the Andes mountain range. Roberto Jimenez Gago with 92% of the vote as the worst signing of the year. And anyone that saw him away at Burnley that day, when he literally threw the ball in the net, and we're all stood there. I had a miserable afternoon anyway, because I bumped into Nome, and there was a massive queue in the cricket club and all that sort of stuff. And then we just stood there and we watched Roberto and I feel a bit mean for this, but what a lonely position on the football field. You're goalkeeper. You're a striker. You can miss 30 chances in a game. No one really bothers about it. You're a goalkeeper. No one ever forgets it. And makes you wonder why they do it. But yeah, he won it by a mile.
So moving on to category number 4, our most improved player. Let's have the top 3 in reverse order, please, sir.
Right, in first order. In third place with 21% of the vote was Declan Rice. Only 5% between first and second place here. In second place was Michael Antonio on 30%. And the winner, who was the runner-up for Player of the Year in 17-18 and had the third place award for Best Goal in 17-18. But winner, Most Improved Player of the Year was Angelo Ogbonna, who scored 35% of the vote.
Category number 5 we are on to now, which is the worst player of the season.
Third place, we have our Brazilian maestro Felipe Anderson with 4% of the vote. In second place, we have, he's Colombian, isn't he? Carlos Sanchez.
Yep.
He had 12% of the vote. And in first place, we have Roberto.
Had to be.
A phenomenal... No, hang on, I can't say now. I've got to take my glasses.
82, I think that says.
82%
Could see
again.
it from here.
Yes, 82%. So pretty self-explanatory. We don't need to drag him through the hedge again, do we? We know he was awful. He did a bit of a car crash with him.
So there it is. Our 5th award of the evening goes to Roberto, who gets that unwanted double of worst player and worst signing of the year. We are going to move on to category number 6 now. And for this, I'm going to come back to Rio. If you would give us the results, please, my friend. This is I like this one. This is always a good category. Goal of the season.
Certainly. In third place, which was my choice, Aaron Cresswell's free kick at home to Man United, which picked up 13% of the vote.
Mm-hmm.
In second place, Andrei Yarmolenko's goal against Chelsea at home, which won it in the last minute, with 37% of the vote. And the winner, and possibly more, not only his first award of the night, we have to see, Declan Rice, for his goal against Watford, picked up 44% of the vote. Fine strike indeed.
We are into the second half now. We are going on to category number 7, which is the most memorable match. Pinky, can we have our top 3, please, in reverse order for this most memorable match category?
Yeah, and in third place with 8% of the votes was the 2-0 win against Manchester United early in the season. You know, typical West Ham, we're flying high, and then 3 days later we go to Oxford United and get done for. But, you know, who'd have it any other way? In second place, you know, after a miserable run with Roberto in goal, you know, we go to the Bridge, end of November, and 17% of the vote is the 1-0 victory over Chelsea. Terrific night that was. But our winner, and this year's KUMB.com's most memorable match, with 2/3 of the vote, 66%, was the 3-2 win against Chelsea, coming as it did when we really needed it. And yeah, that's a fairly decent shout there, I think, from the support.
I'm going to move over to DL for this one, actually. Noam, I hope you don't mind stepping aside for this one. Because we're going to ask DL to do the young player.
Is he going to do it in the style of Pam Ayres? I think he should.
In third place, Ben Johnson with 10% of the vote. In second place, the West Bromwich Albion loanee, Grady Diangana, with 12% of the vote. And in third place, and he's on a hat trick, is our Irish come English international, Declan O'Rice.
Declan O'Rice.
With 76% of the vote.
3 years in a row, the KUMB Young Player of the Year. As I said before, he's also won the Goal of the Season award this year, so it's turning into quite a decent night for our England midfielder. He might even win another award yet. We'll have to let you know very soon. Moving swiftly on, we're into the last third of this year's KUMB Awards. The 9th category of the evening is the greatest disappointment, and we've had a few of them this year, haven't we?
Well, in a year of greatest disappointments, I think 2020 will go down as one of the most disappointing years ever. In third place was losing 4-0 at Oxford with 18%. In second place was points lost from a winning position with 28%. And the top one, the one that I voted for as well, was another relegation battle, which had 48%. And rightly so. I think you look at our team, you look at the players that we had, especially on the bench at the end of the season, how the hell were we in a relegation battle? Ridiculous.
We have but 3 categories left to go in the 23rd annual KUMB Awards tonight. The 10th one, by the way, I like this one. This is a fun one. The Hackett of the Year Award. This is a category that is won by the person who is most cheesed, I nearly said the word, who's most cheesed off the West Ham fan base over the course of the last year or so.
So, in third place with 12% of the votes, the IFAB handball law. In second place with 13% of the votes, it's what's rigged the world for the last 6 or 7 months, COVID-19. And the winner, and well deserved, with a 52% share of the vote, VAR.
That is the winner. We did mention Karen Brady, so I should perhaps say that was the first time our vice chair has not appeared in the top 3 of the Hackett of the Year Award since 2015-16. So congratulations, I guess, Karen. Well done. We are down to our penultimate category now. It is a brand new category. The most memorable moment.
Okay, and in third place, since this is a positive award, it was 8,000 people joining the protest march, and depending on your viewpoint, you know, the club could view that positively because it was only 8,000,
Yes.
and the supporters there could view positively because it was 8,000. But in third place, that was the protest march with 14%. I mean, talk about hard schools. Second place, you're banging 4 goals, and your runner-up, Mikel Antonio. I mean, you know, you look at that and you're thinking, even as his 4th's going in, he must think, you know what, I'm nailed on for that KUMB.com most memorable moment. But oh no, because he had already been stuffed 6 months previously, you know, away at the bridge. Yeah, a very emotional night for those of us that were there, and none more so than for the great Alvin Martin and his son David. David, that night, making his debut for the famous West Ham United, you know, would have been on a dreadful run of form, huge pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine that, you know, your dad's Alvin Martin, you know, club legend, all the rest of it. And that might have helped in a way because the goodwill from the support that night was, you know, the players would have felt it. And you think, you know, you've just picked up 1 point from 18. And that's the level of support that you get from West Ham United supporters when we're in the zone, so to speak. So that kind of transmitted itself. But at the end of the game, David comes off the pitch, clearly, you know, a little bit emotional. Had a massive hug from his old man. What a moment. What a moment. And you look at that and you think, that's what sport's about. Forget the money, forget even the trophies. It's that rare moment where you just say, yeah, top stuff that. And, they romped it this year. And poor old Antonio scores 4 and he's miles behind.
To see his reaction to his boy after the game, there wasn't a dry eye here, I'll tell you. I went out for a glass of water and calm down a little bit. It's just, that's the beauty of football. It can draw every single emotion possible going. And that, for me, was not only the moment of the season, it's probably the moment of the last 2 or 3 seasons, to be honest. I just love it. I just absolutely loved that moment. It was absolutely brilliant.
So that's the 11th category of the night. We've only got one more to go, and it's the big one. It is the KUMB.com, the Knees Up Mother Brown Player of the Year. Who is the winner of our big award tonight? The top 3, please, in reverse order.
One moment.
Is there a gold envelope? Oh, it's a white envelope.
A white envelope. They've run out of gold. In third place with, sorry, my eyes are going there, 14% of the vote is Mikhail, some say Michael, Antonio. In second place with 29% of the vote is Angelo Ogbonna. But the pretty much runaway winner with 56% of the vote, not his first award of the evening, is Declan Rice.
Congratulations to Declan Rice. Thank you, Noam, picking up his 3rd KUMB Award of the evening to follow his Goal of the Season Award and Young Player of the Year Award. We have mentioned, Rio, I think it was, said that, he'd played every single minute of every game so far. It's finished now. Played every single minute of every game last season. I don't think he's going to play anymore. It's unlikely. No, talk to me about Declan Rice. What a fantastic season he's had. What a fantastic ambassador he's becoming for West Ham United.
Fine player and enjoying himself. Good luck to the lad. Just want to see him stay a few more years, please. I can't argue with that result at all.
Absolutely. If ever there was the example of an old head on young shoulders, it's Declan Rice. Absolutely superb, worthy winner.
In a really testing season, he's absolutely shone. He's not only a fine young player, he's a fine young man.
Mm-hmm.
His stuff that he did with Dennis Lepine towards the end of, sadly, his tenure on this planet, just shone out a little bit more, But Declan Rice is head and shoulders the future of West Ham for as long as we can actually keep hold of him. He's got to be the captain. He's a natural born leader. He's an immense player, and he's only getting better. It's frightening to actually think about how good he can actually be.
I'd like to see Rice still be here next year. He is instrumental for us, and he could very well be the next Mark Noble, to the point of where he's the one that holds it all together over a period of 2 decades. Declan's got the opportunity to do that, but he's going to be an ambitious young guy. He's going to want to win trophies. The only thing that he feels for us, I would imagine, is the fact that we gave him a chance after he was dumped by Chelsea. In an ideal world, he'll get a massive offer from abroad, and then we haven't got to watch him week in, week out in the Premier League, and he's turning it on for Barcelona or Real Madrid or Juventus or whoever. That I'd actually be comfortable with. It's going to be like walking down the street and seeing the bird that you split up with, walking with some Adonis when he pulls on another English club shirt. I'm not looking forward to the day.
I mean, you can't do more than play every minute of every game.
Yep.
And play well in those games. I mean, it wasn't just a case of he's on the pitch because there's no one else. He was on the pitch because he deserved to be there. Yeah. And turned in some sparkling performances. Play him in midfield, play him in central defence. Frankly, at this point in time, play him almost anywhere. He's clearly got the respect of his teammates. So he does the business on the pitch. And I think if you're a West Ham United supporter, that's the first thing you want to see, is a player that actually gives us all week in, week out. If then, after that, they turn out to be a really decent human being off the pitch, that raises them up another notch. And, you know, and I think Declan, he's well-grounded. He's a sensible chap. And I've just got a sneaking feeling that we might see one more season from Declan Rice. And who knows? Who knows? If we get that season, it could turn into another season after that, because I've said before, part of the attraction at Chelsea is his big mate is, you know, Mason Mount. Well, what happens if he gets moved on from Chelsea? Would Chelsea hold the same attraction then to Declan Rice? Maybe, maybe not. You'd say there'd be some top European clubs would be looking at Declan Rice and going, do you know what? He'd be worth a punt and at big money. I hope it's not for at least another year, maybe longer. But a terrific footballer, a good all-round decent person, and deserved his award tonight. And, you know, hope he has a great career.
Are people looking at us as a club and saying this is where the future of England comes from?
Yeah.
I don't think so anymore. And I think that you're looking around at some of those other clubs, you know, your Chelsea's, your Man United's, not so much your Arsenal's, but your Tottenham's, and saying this is where the future of English football comes from. West Ham is not seen as that anymore, and it's a shame, but it's where we've got to, you know, within the stature of the game. And don't get me wrong, Declan Rice is going to be a very, very good player wherever he goes. But in terms of international career, I think he needs to move to cement that.
He is the KUMB Player of the Year. He's Declan Rice at the age of 21. What a career he has got ahead of him. We can only hope, as the team have said, that it is with West Ham United, or at least for a few more seasons yet. That remains to be seen, but that is just about it for the 23rd Annual KUMB Awards. Thank you to everyone who joined us live on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so you can be informed when our fresh content is published. My thanks go to my fellow KUMB moderators, Bristol Hammer, the Pink Palermo, Rio, Gnome, and DL for helping me to bring you the results of this year's poll. And finally, our collective thanks go to each and every one of you who voted, and by doing so, keeps our Alternative Supporter Awards very much alive. If you'd like to discuss tonight's awards or anything else regarding West Ham United for that matter, you can do so by visiting the KUMB forum via our website at Knees Up Mother Brown, kumb.com. If you haven't already registered a forum account, which will enable you to join in the plethora of conversations, membership is free and simply requires an email account to join. So until next year, when we plan to return for the 24th Annual KUMB Awards. God, the first one seems such a long time ago now. Look after yourselves and come on, you Irons.
Oh, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.